Hello everybody, welcome back. It's time for Q3 favorites. We are continuing in the tradition of speaking corporate lingo. We're going into Q4. Actually, Q4 started, what was it, Tuesday? I know that because I do planning for quarterly work for my company. So I was like, Q4! Anyway, Q3 is what we're talking about. So these are my favorites that I have loved in Q3. And they kind of run the gamut from skincare, sunscreen, makeup. Sometimes it's like clothing, house stuff, I don't know, whatever I really enjoyed. So without further ado, we will jump into it right now. If you're not subscribed, please do so below. It really does help. Give it a big old like. All of the items will be linked. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and we'll go. Okay, so this is an interesting first favorite because this is the Benefit Fluff Up Brow Max. I got the travel size of this back, I don't know, like maybe a year ago. And for a long time, I definitely didn't like it. This is what the wand looks like. I actually think the travel size is the best. Well, I haven't had the full size, but I think if I'm going to repurchase, which it's in my cart for the Sephora sale, I'm gonna repurchase this size because I'm wondering if the brush on the full size is the same size or bigger. I don't want it to be bigger. I like this size. I think this size is really key. This is a clear brow gel. It's not gonna give you brow lamination. It does say, well, the name is Fluff Up, and I kind of agree with that. And it gives you hold, but I mean, I have fuller brows. If you have sparser brows, you may see like more of a laminating effect. But it really, if you kind of just, I've already put it in my brows, so I'm doing it again. But if you really just like start to brush through it and take your time, it gives you just this really, really oddly pretty look. This is what I've been using nonstop. I have the Anastasia clear one. That also is great. This one, if you put too much of the gel on, you can see the little white product, but just wipe it off. You don't need that much. And it just really, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a wonderful brow gel, and it doesn't have the best hold, but it doesn't have the worst hold. It's not gonna like truly laminate your brows in place all day, but I just feel like it gives me this kind of fluffed up brow. And I never go too far with my brows, so like the type where you just like see it going all the way up. If I want, I'll brush it up and then I kind of brush it over because I think it looks better. I think that very, very fluffy brow trend is something we're gonna look back on and be like, what were we thinking? So I don't even need to do this. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video, but really, really nice brow gel. It takes some getting used to, so play with it a little, but I have really, really, truly enjoyed it. I think we'll continue on in with the makeup. Another thing that I have been loving, this is new to me, but I've already used a good portion of it. This is the VIEVE Invisiveil. I don't know, this stuff works so much better than any other setting spray I've ever used. I would say not all of them, but at least two big favorites. So this is the Professional and then Max Fix Plus. Max Fix Plus, excuse me, I think it smells nice, but I don't feel like it does anything for like actually setting my makeup. And same with Professional. I don't know, I just don't see anything. Now, when I use the VIEVE Invisiveil, this is by Jamie Genevieve. She's a makeup artist, also on Instagram and YouTube. I'll put it on. It's got a pretty fine mist. Let's see if this shows up. I've already put this on too. Can you even see that on camera? Very fine mist, and the scent is to die for. It's their typical, like, I think it's neroli. It smells very, very light and fresh. I know some people don't like scents, but I do think that this scent is very light. It doesn't linger. It just makes you feel like, oh, like I have refreshed my face with like a light water spray. But regardless of all those things, the one thing that honestly, like, I care about the sprayer, I care about the scent, those kinds of things, but does it actually set and keep your makeup? And I think the answer is yes. I have a perpetually runny nose. I don't know if it's allergies or what, but it's pretty much year round. Sometimes I'm like, is it worse in the winter or the summer? No, it's not ever. It's always the same. In the winter, it's because it's dry and like runny in that sense. In the summer, it's also runny. So I am constantly, I just have tissues all over the house. And when I go to run or blow my nose, I don't feel like the makeup comes off as much. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do a test. I'm gonna get a tissue, BRB. Okay, I've got my tissue. Clean tissue, as you can see. I don't really need to blow my nose this second, which is ironic, but let's try it. Oh, I always do. Okay, so some came off, as you can see, but I feel like if you look at my nose, and let's do an up close look, it doesn't look bad. That's my nose. I do not feel like it is one of those things where like the makeup just wipes off. And honestly, like maybe if I spray a little bit more and as the day goes on, then we will notice like even less transfer. The other thing I want to talk about, there's so much to talk about with the setting spray, which I never thought would be the case. Jamie said that this setting spray is supposed to set your makeup in the form that it was. So if you had dewy makeup, it will set as dewy. If you had matte makeup, it will set as matte. And I love that because as a person who doesn't need extra dew, I can get my dew from skincare, sunscreen very easily. I hate setting sprays that I put it on and I had a like natural matte look and then it's just glowy and it feels greasy. This does not do that. So as you see, as it dries down, I've got a little bit of a glow, but it's like pretty much the same as what it was before. And as the day goes on, that glow, not gonna dissipate, but like it's still a little bit wet. It's just fabulous. I love this setting spray and I was never a setting spray kind of girly. So that says something. Okay, the next one, so expensive. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette. I got the second shade, so that's what it looks like, but I got it with the lotus flowers. You could choose your packaging. I just thought this one was the prettiest one. This is from this year. I've never bought Hourglass before. I think I have like their setting powder, like a travel size that I got for free from Sephora one time. I don't even love it that much, but I just finally was like, I hear people raving about this powder. It's very natural. It looks very pretty on your face in pictures, but also in person. And I'm trying to, well, I haven't done it yet. We're gonna be moving soon and I'm going to declutter a lot. I really think I want one palette, especially for travel. This is so perfect. I want a few blushes that are powder. And I'm just gonna give or throw away all of the others because I need to like, I just need less. And this is the perfect thing. Like, I know a lot of people don't love palettes, but I think it's pretty perfect because you get, in this one, they're all a little different, but this one you get 1, 2 blushes. This one is a highlighter, which is what I have on. Look at that. This one is your, what is it called? What do they call it? Finishing powder, soft light. This one is your bronzer, and then I always forget what they actually call this one. Oh, okay, so this one is also a blush, and I actually use this one often because I just think that it gives you kind of like that sunburnt like kind of look versus like bright blush. And today I am wearing 1, 2, 3, 4, and I tend to mix this blush with any of the brighter ones just for a little bit of pop. I don't always put bronzer on, so it's there, but I don't use it as often. And I love it. I think I am now a convert to Hourglass and I can understand why. I mean, this highlighter is just poof, beautiful, but it doesn't look cakey on my skin at all. Like if you saw me in person, you'd just be like, whoa, she is glowing. So it's a favorite. Okay, this one's such a weird favorite because it's called a blush. Cabana, this is Naked Sunday's Cabana Glow Mineral Glow Serum Drops Blush SPF 50. It's not though. It's really like a highlighter. The pigment of it is just, it's only gonna work if you have the fairest of fair skin, which is a shame because they only have one shade. I'm trying to get a little swatch for you guys. But I think it can work for other people. Now, I don't know about deeper skin tones because I don't know if this is gonna come off like with a little bit too much of a white undertone, a little ashy. But on me, which I have like a light to light medium, That's the pigment in it, but do you see that reflect? That's what I'm talking about. So I wear this as more like a highlighter, or like on a day where I don't want to wear a lot of makeup, I just use this as like the tiniest little bit of blush, but more like a highlight. So it gives you kind of like that glow. And again, just a little pigment. You can, though, if you have like a normal blush on, which I didn't put a lot today, I put more highlighter, but if I wanted to, I'm not going to today, what I would do is I would take it on my hand like this. I would take a little sponge or your finger and put it on the sponge or your finger, and then put it on top of what you have. And then you actually do get more of the pigment. So you can get the pigment, it's just not intuitive. I only figured that out kind of by doing it by mistake. So, you know, you get it, but it's not all there. But the reason that this isn't a favorites for me is because when I'm wearing no makeup or just really wanting to look like a healthy glow, this is a really great option. I think putting too much blush on is a dead giveaway that you have a lot of makeup on. So for me, this is like that perfect in between where I don't feel like I'm totally barefaced, but I have like a little glow, a little pigment, and I just wish they had more shades because I think that's not really great. It's kind of like the Drunk Elephant one where they had like this almost same shade, but it didn't have any of the highlights. So it was like, who is this for? Just like a small portion of the population. Okay, moving on to sunscreens. I have two. I have the Minori Daily Mineral Face Sunscreen, like so. I have a full video on this as well. I've talked about it in my like current favorites. And then I have the HOURGLASS Wonder. The HOURGLASS Wonder, whoop, I have opened and used two. I like was scraping the bottom with a knife. This is a chemical, this is a mineral. This one has like more of like a banana tint to it, so not like a skin tone, but it should work on many shades. This one dries to a more natural matte finish, which is wonderful because so many mineral sunscreens are so dewy that I love having this kind of option. The one thing I will caution you about is put it on whatever section you do. Like if you do your whole face, I would kind of caution against that because there is a slight chance of pilling just because of that like natural matte texture or finish. So put it on quickly though. Don't wait for layers to dry because then you're gonna get even more pilling. And I always go right there because that's where it pills for me. But I would just do as many layers as you need as quickly as possible. So if you're doing finger lengths, 1, 2, 3, put it all on your face and rub it in immediately. And don't kind of do what I tend to do, which is usually like thin, small layers. Put it on all at once and make sure it's really rubbed in well so it doesn't pill. It doesn't pill often on me, but I think that could be a problem for some. And then what do I have to say about HOURGLASS Wonder? This was an instant favorite. I put it on immediately in the spring and loved it. It is moisturizing but not heavy. It doesn't dry down too matte. It doesn't dry down glowy. It's just a spectacular sunscreen with high sunscreen, or I mean, I say high, but high SPF. You got the SPF 50 plus and PA 4 pluses. So it's one of those Korean sunscreens. I mean, they almost all have very high protection, but you really just can't go wrong with this kind of sunscreen because I think it's gonna work on so many skin types. I've talked about this at length multiple times. I'm gonna be talking about it again in my empties video, but I feel like this speaks for itself. Okay, moving on to skincare. I have two favorite moisturizers from the last few months. One is newer and one is, well, they're both newer actually, but one is like really new to me, and that is the Naturium Barrier Bounce. They sent this to me in PR. Naturium's PR is so interesting. Now, first of all, I mean like hands in the air. I just think of that little emoji like this because what? I'm on Naturium's PR list. It's like a dream come true, but their PR is so random. I will randomly, without warning, without anything, just get a package. It's like from New Jersey or whatever. And then I will open it and there will be one product. This is not really even that new. Like I think it came out this year, but it's not like, usually PR gets sent right by the launch so that you can hype it up or whatever. Nope. Or like I'll get products that are not even that new and they just send them. And I'm like, thank you, but like also what? And again, I don't have an issue with it. I'm not saying that I'm like mad. It's just weird. But I got this and I was like, okay, like will I like this? This just seems like, I thought it was a serum, to be honest. It's called Advanced Skin Hydrator, and this is kind of their normal serum packaging, and it is liquid. So I was like, okay, a serum. I don't really love most serums because I feel like most of them are a little, like, I like actives and I like moisturizers. I don't love most serums, but I'm gonna show you what this looks like. And I don't know if it'll come across on camera. So it's quite runny. Again, put it on and I was like, it's a serum. It's got like a pinkish tint to it, but when you rub it in, it is spectacular. It is actually more of an oil than anything. So while they say it's, actually they just say a hydrator, so I guess that doesn't say anything. But it has, let's see, 5% squalane, 2% urea, which is great for dry skin, and then a ceramide complex. And this 5% squalane makes it feel like an oil, but also not the like actual consistency. It's got a little bit more viscosity to it. And it is wonderful. I wear this to bed. Normally, like, I am a very heavy overnight mask, heavy moisturizer kind of girl. But this I can wear alone with nothing else and feel totally hydrated and moisturized all night long. I would not, me personally, wear this during the day, but I also have normal like combo skin. If you do have drier skin, maybe a pump or two could work, but it's not gonna like soak in immediately. That's not the point. It is like, think more like your typical just facial oil, but more elevated, more elegant. It's spectacular though. Like, I cannot get enough of it, and I will be repurchasing it 100%. I'm just blown away by this and was not expecting it whatsoever. And it's also affordable, like most Naturium products. I think it's probably, I'm gonna just guess 25. I got it in PR, but I would have spent 25 on that for sure, because it is well worth that $25. And then the next one is the Dr. Dennis Gross Vitamin C Lactic Dewy Deep Cream. Whew, this stuff is spectacular. I got this at the end of August, and this is actually, I think, 2 fluid ounces too. Yeah, 2 fluid ounces. And you can see I've used a lot of it. I got it when I was in, every time I say this, I sound very pretentious to myself, but in the Hamptons. We went out there with my husband's family, and we were staying at this hotel that was really nice, and the first time we went was for the 4th of July, and it was freezing, and I did not have the proper clothing. I was like, oh, we're going to the beach in July, it's gonna be warm. No. So the second time I was like, I am prepared for this. I'm bringing warm clothes. I'm gonna have all that. And it was warm. But it was humid, but it was dry. And my skin was like parched. It felt like nothing was soaking into it. Like, do you ever feel that feeling where you put stuff on and it's like sitting on top, it doesn't sink in? That's what I was having. So I went to the spa and I was like, I know you guys are gonna have the most expensive options, but I need a moisturizer. And I looked around and this seemed like the best option, so I bought it. It is so crazy priced, in my opinion. I don't even want to look right now because I just know, I think it's like $80 or $90. And it is 2 fluid ounces, but that's just a little bit more than normal. But it is chef's kiss spectacular. I love the fact that it has vitamin C and lactic acid, but it's also so incredibly rich and dewy, like the name suggests, that I can't get enough of it. I put it on at night, I load up on it, I do use a lot, and I still have it on my face in the morning. My skin doesn't feel dry at all. It's a splurge, but it is just spectacular. So if you're interested in splurging, also the scent, it's like, citrusy. It's so good. God, it's so good. So we have a cheaper one and a more pricey, very pricey one. Okay, and my last item that I have to talk about is the Dazzle Dry Nail Kit. These are all just different options. I got all the not all, but I got some minis because I wanted to test like colors and whatnot. So these were 2 of the sets that I got, and then I think I just bought like a few minis of my own, like different colors. And a subscriber did introduce me to these, Helen, over on Instagram. We talked. She was like, because I had said like, what do? I don't want gel all the time. It just ruins my nails. If I put on regular polish, it chips within like a day. It's just, and I want like something on my nails. And she suggested that. I was skeptical at first, but they are fabulous. First of all, they last probably like 2 weeks, like maybe not quite as long as gel always, but it's fine. Like if I can get 2 weeks, by that point, I usually want to change it or switch it up, something new. So I'm fine with it. And then it's so easy to take off, and I really feel like it doesn't ruin my nails. I do like to give my nails like a little break from polish every once in a while, because even with this, the Dazzle Dry, I think continual use where your nails can never breathe, you're gonna get some damage, it's just inevitable. But these are one of the better options, and I almost like forgot the punchline. They dry in like 5 minutes. So you put on different layers, and there's a little system to it. So you do this nail prep, which is, I don't know, I think it's important, but I don't know, it's not actual polish. It's almost like, it doesn't smell like alcohol, but I think it's that step in the normal gel polish. Then you have your base coat, and you do 2 coats of that. You let it dry each time, but it takes like a minute to dry. Then you do your color, let it dry, and then you do 1 coat of the top coat. And again, you're letting it dry each time, but it doesn't take long at all to dry. And by the time you're done, your nails, the polish is not going anywhere. Spectacular, out of this world amazing. So I actually don't have them on as I'm like talking about polish right now, because I was going out of town and I needed, like, my thing is I can't do the like filing as well. So every once in a while I go and get them done just for the filing and the shaping. And then the rest of the month or 2, I just do it on my own. But they're out of this world, and I think if you haven't tried them yet, it's a little pricey, but it's still gonna save you money over a manicure every 2 to 3 weeks. So that is it. That's our Q3 favorites. I'm sweating, I'm happy, I need to be hydrated. But I will see you guys in the next one. I guess the end of the year one is coming up, jeez. So I don't know if I'm gonna do like a favorites from the whole year or just Q4. I haven't decided yet, but let me know what you wanna see, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!